Yo, peace to the planet. Peace, 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 y'all. Rob Blackstone here. I am in Central Park, and I am in Central Park recharging my spirit, recharging my energy, and recharging my soul. And I hope you guys are doing the same. What I wanted to record about today is I wanted to talk about the structure and talk about its significance, and also speak about how we can actually take this structure into our meditations and into our ritual, into our magic works, in order to help us achieve our dreams and achieve mastery. Now, this particular structure was brought here from Egypt, Kemet. And from this point on, I'm just going to refer to Egypt as Kemet. And so this was brought from Kemet to America on January 12th, 1881. Either January 12th or January 22nd. You can look that up. But it was brought here to Central Park in New York City. And what it was, or what it is essentially, trying to flip this, but this is really the whole Central Park. Now, right here is the Metropolitan Museum of Art. You may know it because it is famous for the Met Gala. And there's actually a temple inside the Met Gala, which is an Egyptian temple that was sitting on top of the Nile, called the Temple of DENDUR. And the Temple of DENDUR was basically what you would call an altar, right? It was basically a ritual center. And I'll post a picture of that at the end, the Temple of DENDUR. But what I want to talk about is this particular obelisk. And the reason I'm even talking about it is because a lot of times, we get into these different cultures, these different religions, these different spiritual studies, right? And we forget the source of all of them. And the source of all of them is Kemet. Point blank, period. The source of all of them, Ifa, Voodoo, Lukemi, Santeria, all of that. Christianity, Islam, all of that comes from this. All of that comes from this teaching, these teachings of these wise ancient Africans. So I like to use these images, and I realize this doesn't really get talked about a lot. People are more, into Oshun and Shango, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not knocking anybody for doing that. But we have to remember the mother, right? We have to remember the father. We always have to remember our ancestors, and these are our ancestors. So, getting more into this particular structure is called the obelisk in English, or it will be called the Tekken. That's what we called it when it was in its original place of Heliopolis. Now, Heliopolis was basically a mystery school center in Alexandria. Alexandria was basically had libraries, right? If you read anything about ancient Kemet, you'll see that they burned the libraries of Alexandria, which had pretty much all the knowledge of the world, according to ancient texts. There were many sites like that, or libraries, or universities. In fact, the word university comes from Commission people doing it, ancient Africans doing universities, because when you went into these schools, these mystery schools, you were literally studying the universe, studying cosmology, or the cosmological process, the cosmos itself. So this particular statue, or this particular structure, was erected during the reign of Tutmosis III. And Tutmosis III was an Egyptian pharaoh. He became pharaoh, they say, at the age of either 2 or 3, because of his father, Tutmosis II, passing away. So he was the next in line, he became pharaoh. But he was co-regent with his aunt, who was Hatshepsut. So she was actually the queen. She did all the queenly duties while he was a child. And then he became, of course, the pharaoh. He became king as he grew up. So once she passed away, then she became king. So once he became king, after Hatshepsut passed away, he proceeded to conquer lands. He conquered part of Syria, conquered Canaan, ancient Canaan at the time, and other parts of Nubia and so forth. So Tutmosis was known for military strength, or his military power. Now, the Tekken is a phallic symbol. It is a symbol of Osiris' severed penis, or Osiris' severed penis. The story of Osir, Heru, and Set. Now I'm giving you the Cliff Note version. It's basically Osir got tricked by Set to put him inside a gold coffin. And what happened was the gold coffin, he set the gold coffin up Nile. The Nile and it stopped at a tree. And Set, or Isis, upon finding out, went to locate his body, found the coffin, but his body was cut into 14 pieces, minus his penis. So she was able to put his body back together, and his son Heru, or Horus, was able to avenge the death of Set. They never found his penis, so they erected this as a monument to his penis. Now, phallic symbols always denote the rising of the sun, or the rising of oneself. When you're a young man, you wake up in the morning, this is what happens to your body, right? Your penis is erect. In the morning, rock hard, ready to go. And if you are a man of good vitality, good health, then your penis is always erect. You're constantly getting erections throughout the day, randomly, right? That's when you're in good sexual health, good vitality. This is also would be called Ra energy. Now, the thing about this, and I'm going to show you some of the structure as I walk around. There's people here, but the thing about a Tekken or obelisk is that its main purpose was to harness sunlight, which is essentially what the penis, or properly working penis, does. It blood flow. Blood flow is what determines a rock hard penis or a hard dick, right? Blood flow. Blood flow is determined by your body's an energy flow or energetic flow. So when we look at these things, we have to realize that they serve a purpose. And because these structures are ancient, that means they were witnessed by our ancestors. And being that they were witnessed by our ancestors, that means that they have residence in our DNA, in our cellular memory. So when we see structures like this, we have to understand that, let me show y'all these little crabs right here that's on the base of this. Now, tell you a quick story. One day, as you see that, and there's bars here, you don't have to believe me, but one day I went over these bars, and you can't, and I might do this shit today after I get off live, but I went over these bars, and I climbed up, and I went up, and I'm 6'3", so this block is pretty big, but I could pretty much touch the bottom part of the Tekken, or the obelisk. And I remember going up there and touching it, and like 2 minutes later, a white dude with a bike just drove by and started doing some hand signals. Now, another reason why I bring these into, or bring this into your consciousness, is this structure was used for harnessing electrical energy, just like your body is used for harnessing electrical energy. And the way you harness electrical energy is by rising up. Now, what used to happen at the top, very, very top of this structure, just like the pyramids, there was a capstone. They call it the BENBEN stone. There are 3 of these Tekkens from Heliopolis or from Alexandria, from this particular pharaoh, that are 3 very important points. And one is in New York, one is in Paris, and one is in London. And this is just from Heliopolis. There are other Tekkens or obelisks all over. And you may notice the structure from it being on the Washington Monument, right? So you see the Washington Monument is taken from this. Now, people talk about the Illuminati. They talk about Masonry. People talk about the Illuminati. They talk about Masonry, Freemasonry. They talk about signs and symbols being demonic. But there's nothing demonic about this. It's hot out here, forgive the sweat. But there's nothing demonic about this. All this is a structure designed to harness energy. Now, at the top of the structure, like as I was saying, there will be something called a BENBEN stone. And the BENBEN stone was an energy conductor. Also, you'll see capstones that should be on the pyramid. Obviously, it's not on this because this is a stolen structure. But they do have a stone that I discovered that has been taken from this structure called the Stone of Scone, which is in Scotland. The Stone of Scone, or it's called the Stone of Destiny. You could Google that, the Stone of Destiny. And this particular, again, forgive me, y'all, I ain't editing this part though. This is because this is real, I'm really sweating. But the Stone of Destiny was in the stone, and it's pretty much, I would say, although and if you look at the stone, it looks like this. It looks like the Tekken. It looks just like it. And let me flip the camera. It looks just like this, but at the top, you could, at the top where that, well, you probably can't see it on the phone camera, but at the tip top, there would be a capstone, or what they call a pyramidion. And that pyramidion would be made of gold, but there was also something inside of the capstone. Now, that is what they would call the Stone of Destiny. If you look up the Stone of Destiny, you'll see that presidents, monarchs, heads of state, and other Scottish dignitaries, they all go and they do what they call a coronation. A coronation, if you look at the word coronation, it has the word cornea, right? And cornea, basically a circle. So when you're getting coronated, you're basically getting a third eye, right? That's the whole reason for a coronation. It's basically as dealing with the eyes corona. So it's dealing with, there's a corona beer, right? But we're dealing with, not the corona, sorry, not the corona beer, but the cornea is dealing with the eyes cornea. So the energy that is meant to be harnessed is one of rising. It's one of achieving. It's one of harnessing solar energy to manifest the things that you want. All these structures have significance. And the significance of these structures is one, or that why they were placed around Egypt was one, to remind you that you are divine, so that every time you see them or they're in your environment, like the best thing that could happen to projects is for them to put structures and pictures that represent divinity, or ancient structures or sculptures that represent divinity. And it would change the whole frequency of these places, and people will start becoming owners, and it would change the whole vibration of the projects, or really any impoverished neighborhood. And the reason for this is because energy is conducted, or energy is a currency. Energy is always moving. So when there's something called epigenetics, and depending on the environment that we're in, it determines how our DNA will respond. So even though we may have our mom and our dad's DNA, our environment will determine the genesis of it, or the birth of it, or how it changes. So environment is important. So when we look at these structures, we don't want to look at them as they're demonic or it's Illuminati. Illuminati, Masons, any people that work with these structures or these esoteric sculptures are doing what you could do, which is harness energy and utilize it to your advantage. They basically have this particular structure here to channel Tutmosis because Tutmosis was a war general. His energy was conquering. He was a great conqueror. He was a great warrior. He was a legend in Kemet, right? Super war hero, super conqueror, black man. But they will harness his energy from the ethers to stabilize New York, to stabilize these rituals that happen in the Met Gala, which is, let me show you from my vantage point. No, that's still me. All right, let me show you. So that's the Metropolitan Museum of Art. In front of, this is the back of it. In front of it is where they hold the Met Gala, like I told you. And again, you can look this up. In May, they had the Met Gala. They had that gay black dude dressed up as my aunt. Wings and all that. Look it up. Look it up. I forgot his name. I forgot that dude's name. But he's a gay black man that dresses flamboyantly at all these events. I think his name's Anthony something. And he's dressed up as my aunt with the wings and the headdress and all that. Right? These rituals, and you also see video of Solange bringing holy water into, not holy water, Florida water into the Met Gala as well. And you'll see all these pictures of, people looking weird and shit like that going into the Met Gala because there's rituals being done. And the rituals being done are A, for their protection, and B, for their advancement. And their advancement is based on conquering. So what are you trying to conquer? What are you trying to overcome? What are you trying to get over the hump with? What are you trying to move forward on? You could use the image of the Tekken. You could use the power of the obelisk to go to war with the demons within, to go to war with people that are fucking with you, to go to war with an environment that doesn't suit you, to go to war with elements that are not in your favor. Now, this war is not a physical war. This war is a spiritual war because we're conducting energy, and energy is invisible. It is felt, but it is invisible. So, my goal is to show you how all spirituality essentially ties in and how you could use pretty much anything as a source of inspiration, as a source of motivation. And this particular structure is designed to harness the energy of motivation, harness the energy of war, harness the energy of power. Again, it's a phallic symbol. It's a masculine symbol. It is a go-get-it symbol. It's a hustler's symbol. It is, one of the translations of obelisk or Tekken is sky piercer. If you look at, if you look in your city, you'll see that in ancient times, the biggest structures were the churches. And that's based off this science. That's based off the science of the Tekken and the science of the obelisk. And what happened was that changed over time when corporations started becoming more powerful than spirituality or spiritual culture. And then you had things like the Empire State Building, the World Trade Center, and so forth and so on, become big buildings, Sears, Sauer in Chicago and stuff like that. So what I'm doing is I'm harnessing energy, using it towards my goals. I'm gonna meditate again for a little bit with the image of the Tekken and put that, the picture of my goals or my dreams with this image and harness some energy. That's energy vampirism at its finest. But that is using your melanin for good. This is what spirituality is all about. This energy right now for this particular structure, it's not really about getting a lover. It's not really about getting things. It's not really about getting a car and shit like that. It's more about you being in the flow of energy to receive these things, to receive them, and also to not be overwhelmed by them, and also to be at peace, because peace and power and prosperity is the goal of spiritual culture. So I just wanted to talk real quick about that. I'm out here in nature. Shout out to everybody who watches this. Shout out to everybody out there. I hope this helped. Hope I gave you some education about Kemetic culture, and I hope you don't look at these things as demonic or as outside of you, because these things are you. This is you. This is you rising. This is you taking over the planet in your whatever particular field, whether you're an artist, painter, whatever you're out here to do, build things, whether you're the best janitor in the world, whatever your goal is, right? This is one of the structures that can help. And Tekken, the obelisk, is one of the things that can help you manifest these things if you take it into your ritual, if you take it into your meditation. They have crystals that are shaped like this that you could bring into your home. Everybody can't get to New York, but everybody can look at an image, right? Because it's about signs and symbols at the end of the day. So you don't have to physically be somewhere to feel somewhere. I'm gonna say that again. You don't have to physically be somewhere to feel somewhere, because everything has energy. So with that said, peace, power, and prosperity. Let me know if you have any questions. Trying to think what else I missed. Oh, at the top of the Tekken. The Tekken was also synonymous. At the tippy top, it was also synonymous to what they call the Bennu bird. And the Bennu bird is the precursor to the Phoenix. There's an X-Men movie out right now called Dark Phoenix. The Tekken is the precursor to that. The obelisk is the precursor to, I'm sorry, not the Tekken, but the Bennu bird is the precursor to that. And the Bennu bird is a representative of this great structure because the Phoenix rises from the ashes. And Bennu's nest was said to sit on top of a pyramid or on top of a Tekken. So you can look up the Bennu bird as well. It's sitting on, and the ashes, the nest of the Bennu bird would be, again, on top of the Tekken. And it would be on that BENBEN box, or that stone of destiny, or that stone of, I believe it's called, I just said it, stone of scone, I believe. But look up stone of destiny, you'll find that as well. So the Bennu bird was the mother of the term phoenix. The Greek took the Bennu bird and called it the phoenix. But the original Bennu bird was the phoenix. And it comes from our culture. So what is the phoenix? The phoenix is this. This is the phoenix of the same thing. Rises from the ashes, rises from your troubles, rising from your stress. So this means that people in ancient times also went through struggle. It means that people in ancient history in Africa, where everybody thinks was so magical and so, no peaceful and nobody had drama, it shows you that they went to war. First they went to war within, then they went to war outside. It all starts with inspiration. Inspiration, being inspired. So it all starts within. Once you have that inspiration, now you can put forth that perspiration. But you have to know how to harness energy, and you have to know how to gather energy. And these structures are a quick way to hack energy. So I didn't want to leave anything out. I just wanted to talk about that. Again, any questions, comments, concerns, leave it there. And let's rise, y'all. Summertime. This is the perfect time for your melanin to be activated. About to go into the new moon next week. And it's time. It's time to rise. Whatever your dream, whatever your gift is, whatever you're put here to do, Don't let distractions take you away from it, because the world will distract you. The woman in the red dress in the movie Matrix will distract you. That's all the distractions. Kim Kardashian's hair, Miley Cyrus's album, The Rock said this on Instagram. All this stupid shit is designed to distract you from being the best you. And you're distracted and distracted and distracted until you become 50, 60, 45 and you can't do shit. And your life is over. And all the energy that you had as a youth to manifest and manufacture your goals is gone. You don't want to do that. You want to get on top of harnessing this energy. If you're procrastinating, if you're lazy, if you feel like life's not moving forward, take this Tekken into your meditations. Put a picture of this Tekken on your candles. Put this on your altars, right? Especially during new moons, full moons, equinoxes, and solstices. Whenever you're feeling like you're depressed, put this image in your mind. Allow it to transport you. Put your dreams on this image. Put your dream on the actual structure. Why you can't put an image of you getting a new car, a new apartment, and a new home? And I know I said this energy isn't for attracting things, but it is for you to be able to harness the energy to recognize when these opportunities come, to be able to pay for the new car, to be able to pay for the new home, to be able to take the new, to be able to, well, if you're a woman, you're not going to take a guy out, but if you're a guy, to be able to have the funds to take the girl out, to take your children out. If you're a woman, to take your family to, wherever you want to take them, right? To manifest these things naturally and at ease. At ease. Because once you're into spiritual science, it is based on you using your emotional power for good, but it is also about, once you hit that point, transcending the emotions and just manifesting, right? Transcending and manifesting, using the emotional power and not letting it use you. That's transcending the emotion. When you're using emotional power and not letting it use you. And this is one of the ways to do that. All right, I said I wasn't going to do a long video, so I'm going to cut it off now. Peace, power, and prosperity. Rob Blackstorm. Get subscribe, share, let me know what you think. Peace.